Sandra, welcome to another episode of Asexualized, My Sexualized. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that great big subscribe button down below. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content as we go along. If you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book called Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. So you don't know what asexuality is, it's a sexual orientation that's the lack of sexual attraction. And this is 46 asexuals' personal stories, and I also tell my own. So it's 47 asexual stories, and it asks asexuals all across the spectrum multiple questions about everything to do with love, life and sex, and how to survive and thrive in this highly sexualized world as an asexual person. I'm also the founder of asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy. Well, today, yesterday now, it's been my birthday. I've been a birthday girl. 21st mindset birthday again. So yeah, I believe truly you can choose what type of life you live, and then clues you can choose what mindset and lifestyle age you have. It's just gone after 4 a.m. now on Thursday the 25th of April 2019. I think it said 2017 then, but I've been watching Avengers End Game, and yeah, it kind of goes back into the past, into 2017 and 2012 and multiple different years. So if you don't want any spoilers for the Endgame Avengers movie, please don't watch this review. If you like spoilers, you want to know more about the new film that's just come out, me and my asexual friend Sam went to see it for my birthday, so we were in the cinema late at night, 11:35 at night on 24th of April 2019, and then we watched it, and the film didn't finish till just after 3 a.m. in the morning. And so I'm doing this video really in the early hours where pretty much most people are sleeping in the UK. So Avengers Endgame, if you didn't know me by now, I absolutely love superhero movies. I love movies that have no sex because I am a sex repulsed asexual, meaning for me, right? So I'm happy for anyone else who wants sex, likes it, that's all great for them, carry on, you can go and have it. But for me personally, I'm sex repulsed asexual these days. I don't like sex, don't need it, don't want it, don't get the urge for it. Kissing, cuddling, I like that type of thing, but I don't need the sex, right? And so I also hate nudity. So I look for films I've got no nudity and no sex in them whatsoever. I really love finding those types of films. I don't watch TV, so I can basically cut out all the sexualized images on there. I don't read newspapers, don't, look at the news. I just live my own life, which is happily sex-free and nudity-free, which is fantastic, almost completely. I mean, occasionally you get something pop up in your newsfeed and you just have to kind of ignore it or go on to do something else, right? Anyway, Avengers Endgame has just come out. Me and my friend Sam went to see the preview tonight. Cinemas were packed. There's about 3 different screens that had it on at different times, but very similar times. And so this is the sequel to Infinity War. So Avengers and Infinity War was on last year in 2018. And if you haven't seen the Avengers Infinity War, basically at the end of the film, Thanos won. He killed off 50% of the Earth people, and that included he killed off at least 50%, if not more, of the Avengers characters, right? He killed off a lot of our superhero heroes. And of course, as a superhero fan, you never, ever want your favorite character to be killed off. I mean, it's just really sad, especially if you followed their journey throughout their whole time on the big screen. And so I was really happy in the first film, Infinity War, when my favorite character, Iron Man, didn't die, and all the characters that were left were great. I wanted Spider-Man to come back, but I saw there was a new Spider-Man movie coming out soon, so I thought he's got to come back, hasn't he, unless that's set before Endgame. So I kind of thought, I didn't know what was going to happen in the Endgame movie. I really didn't, and it was quite a shock. I have to say, it was quite a shock, a very sad shock. I have to say, I was quite pissed off. Excuse my language, but I was with the ending. So anyway, so basically, it's set where, you know, like, it starts off basically where all these characters just like gone, they've disintegrated, and Captain Marvel, if you've seen that film, she comes in it. I was absolutely really disappointed, actually. Like I said, if you don't like spoilers, don't watch this. But I was absolutely quite, you know, taken aback by the fact that Captain Marvel was hardly in this Endgame film. I thought Captain Marvel was literally going to save the whole day of Avengers Endgame. They were going to be in a significant portion of the film, and they weren't. I'm not going to say what part they did play. They were in it, but they were only in it very minimally compared to what I thought their character is meant to be. A very powerful character. Like, if you haven't seen Captain Marvel, right? Captain Marvel's a really good film. It tells all the story about Captain Marvel and how she came to be Captain Marvel. It tells all her background story, right? And at the end of Captain Marvel, she is meant to be coming. You get a little clip where she is coming to help some of the Avengers, right? That's where it ends, the little clip on the credits. So it's quite shocking when she kind of turns up in the end game, and it's kind of like she's fairly new to them. Do you know what I mean? When you've already seen the clip of her speaking to them in the other film, it's kind of like she's still really new to them and stuff. But she wasn't in it very much, and I was quite disappointed about that. I'm like, and then she seemed to come at the moments when most people's butt had already been kicked, you know, and didn't save the day. So I thought that was a bit strange. And in the beginning of the Captain Marvel film, right, it was quite slow in the beginning. I have to say, it was quite slow, and I was like, this is not your usual like action movie from the Avengers movie. You know, it takes you quite by surprise that it's a bit slow, and it's, you know, they're trying to reveal all the story. So basically, if you watch all the superhero movies, hopefully you gathered that they'd have to go back in time if they wanted to change what happened in Infinity War. It's pretty obvious they've got to go back in time to change things if they want to change it for this Endgame film, which most people would probably have used their intelligence and understood that they needed the time stone in order to reverse time, in order to put things back the way they were, right? But as you know, as we all know, that if people go back in time, things are never really how they happen to be, because you distort the back end of time, because things go wrong. It doesn't always happen right. So in the beginning of the movie, it's quite slow going. They're telling the story of these people who have lost their loved ones, and then you go from present day to them it just happening, like the end of Infinity War, to then 5 years later when they've been trying to cope without their loved ones, the people that died in Infinity War, and it's taken a toll of them mentally and physically as well. So you see that side. It's quite slow going, because it's all kind of like being sad and gloomy about their life without their other counterparts, if you like. And so, you know, it's quite slow going. So if you're going to go to the toilet in the movie, because it's a 3-hour long movie, I suggest you go in the beginning bits, really, because they're quite dragged out, in my opinion. And there's quite a lot of, you know, like, what happens is, like, with the time stone, you think they're gonna get it, you know, just get it. And to be honest, they could have just got the time stone, and if they could just be able to get the time stone like that, the film would have been over in 5 minutes, which means that I have to think of some other way of making the movie longer. So they couldn't get the time stone. I won't say why, but instead they had to go back in time. They still had to go back in time, which is pretty obvious, right? So there was some obvious stuff in there. And then when they go back in time, obviously it's pretty obvious as well, as you probably guessed, that things don't go right. That when they try to get all the stones back in the past, they try to get all the stones back, not just a time stone. Things happen, and they do kill off a main character getting one of the stones back. They kill off a character that's been in it quite a long time, just getting one of those stones back. And then they sort of have to gather the stones from different places, different years in the past, and different places they remember they stored it. So the characters go back in time, and they're all in sort of different years. Like, some's in 2012, some's in 2017, I think it is. They're all like kind of in different years, which was a bit weird. And of course, it doesn't really go according to plan, because things happen, and you know, you always kind of have someone infiltrating the system, don't you? I'm not going to say who that character is, but there's a character that, you know, they're not quite what they seem to be in the sense of helping to get the stones back, even though they look like they are in the beginning. So that, you know, that's meant to be a little twist, but I kind of guessed what character it's going to be, that was going to be a little bit of a villain amongst the people trying to get the stones back. I thought that was quite obvious as well, to be perfectly honest. So it's not my favorite movie at all. In fact, you know, it's very, very sad. And I'll tell you a bit more about that later on. So when they go back and they're getting all these, trying to get all these stones, then they do kill a main character off. And I think the sad thing is that they actually kill more than one main character off, and these characters came back to life, or they survived in the first movie. So in Avengers Infinity War, they actually survived, these two characters, and then in this one they kill them off. And it's just horrendous, you know, when you think their life's been saved and they're the ones living. You know, if your characters in there you really love, you're really happy, right? But then you come to the end game and then you think, oh God, they've turned it all around. So the people that you don't think will survive do and come back, and the ones that you want to survive and stay, they don't. So it's kind of like hard. It was really hard, I think. And it's quite sad. There's quite a few people crying in the end. And when they go back to get these stones, like I said, from different years, things don't go according to plan, but they do see a lot of their people in their past, even going back further than they did in previous years, to speak to their loved ones, and they kind of see them, but they're not allowed, they're not really allowed to show who they are in the present day going back, if you know what I mean. So there is some funny moments in there, some comedy, which was nice. You kind of like with Guardians of the Galaxy in there as well, obviously as part of the Avengers group together. There is those bits of Guardians of the Galaxy humor. If you're used to them, then obviously you will like the humor in the film. And there is like this massive fight scene, which you kind of like really want there to be a massive fight scene, because to be honest, it's not the most action-packed movie. And so you really, really you kind of anticipate the action, and then when it does come, it is quite huge, the action. And you do get a lot of your favourite characters coming back. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And so it's really, really, really good. The fight scene, there's a major, major fight scene. It's really huge with loads of different characters, and that's quite incredible. But what I hated most of all about the film was they did kill off my very, 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 very all-time favourite character. And of course, as a person who loves their favourite character of the whole, like, movies, I was crying a little bit. Not in the film, because I couldn't believe they do it. I thought, you can't really kill that person off, right? You are joking. You're going to bring that back to life. You can't kill them off. You're really not going to. And I was just saying to myself, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. And then afterwards, when the credits had gone and the film had finished, I was like, oh my God, they've actually killed that person off. And I'm like, how can they do that? It was a major, major character, and it was my favourite character of all the movies. That's one of the main reasons I go and watch the films, if I'm honest. Now I'm feeling like, well, should I still go and watch the films if my favourite character isn't in it? Because, you know, I don't find it hard to have a favourite character. A lot of people do, but I don't. Mine's easy character, you know, that's my favourite. And so I was just really upset and disgusted and pissed off, to be quite honest, excuse my language. But I was, if quite honest. I mean, if your favourite character comes back to life, you're going to absolutely love the movie. You're going to adore it. It's going to be empowering for you. It's going to feel a great sense of satisfaction and relief that they're back and really happy. And you're going to be all excited and jumping up and down for joy. But if they kill your favourite character off, like they've done with mine, you'll be the opposite. You'll be peed off, really upset about it, thinking, great, I can't watch any more of those movies now. That's where it ends. And like, that's why I really wanted to see the films, because I wanted to specifically see how that character, my favourite character, reacted and interacted with the other people, the other characters. And now I can't do that, and I just feel like let down and disappointed, to be quite honest. And I was a bit tearful afterwards the movie finished. You know, like not until it finished, because I couldn't believe they killed it off. I thought, you are absolutely joking, right? You are really joking. You cannot do that. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And so I was really peed off. And yeah, they had the funeral and everything, you know. And what's really, 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 really weird that some people were peed off with as well is, you have the end credits. There's always, always, always something at the end of a Marvel film, right? Always. After the credits for another film, another movie, there was nothing. There was no bit at the end of the credits. Nothing. Diddly squat. And they started playing I've Had the Time of My Life from the Dirty Dancing movie. Right now, normally I like that song, but I didn't have the time of my life because they killed my favourite character off, right? I mean, I don't know what music they'll play in your cinema, but that's what my cinema had on after the film. I think, no, I didn't have the time of my life, actually. The end of the film was absolutely upsetting for me. They killed my favourite character off. That's why I really wanted to watch all the other superheroes in the film, because I want to see how they interact with mine. They were my very favourite character, and now they're gone forever. Thanks a bunch, There's no need to kill that character off. It's ridiculous. And so, yeah, I was pretty peed off because I was thinking, why didn't they just get Thor to attack his head like they said at the end of Infinity War? Do you know what I mean? Like, he should have gone for his head, I think it was. And do you know what I mean? It's like, why didn't he kill him? And so, yeah, I was really peed off, if I'm honest. I was really upset, and I'm like, I can't say I like the film. I can never say I like the film now. How can you say that you like a film when they kill off your favourite character? You can't, can you? And there was no sex in the film whatsoever, which I was really glad about. There was no nudity, so there was none of that. So it is a good movie to watch if you love superhero movies, you don't like sex, you don't like nudity, and you want to carry on the storyline from, Infinity War, and you want a conclusion. But just be warned that it might not be the conclusion you want and we're striving for. Certainly wasn't the conclusion I wanted, especially when my favourite characters vibed in the first movie, Infinity War, and now they're dead in the end game, literally. So I'm really peed off about it, to be quite honest with you. Really peed off. And I want to scream at them, Like I said, if your favourite characters come back to life, you're going to be, woo! Yeah, this is a great movie. Woo, woo, woo. Loads of fight, great fight scene. Yeah, good backstory line. Yeah, it's all great. Woo, woo, woo. They saved my character. I feel great and wonderful. But if they killed off your favourite character, you're going to be like distraught and peed off and crying, upset and thinking what a crap movie it was, to be quite honest with you. That's what you're going to be thinking and saying. There was one guy and he literally walked down and says that was a crap movie. Now, normally I wouldn't say that about Marvel films, but I have to agree with him because literally it was not good. I mean, to be fair, it wasn't just that. There was some slow bits in it. At the beginning, they were very, very slow, and there wasn't as much action in the beginning bit of the movie. But, overall, I'm peed off because they killed my character off. How can I like a film that kills my character off? It's like, well, shall I even bother watching it in the future? What's the point now? My character's gone. That was the whole reason, really, why I watched the movies, in all honesty. Like, you know what I mean? I'm prepared to pay money to have my favourite character there. A lot, like a lot of money. But, when they kill them off, so what's the point? What's the point? Nah, because I liked them. And I loved the characters' powers as well, what they do. I mean, if you don't want spoilers, don't watch this video, right? Don't watch this video, right? Because, to be quite honest with you, if you know anything about me, don't watch this bit if you don't want to know what happens and what characters kill, because I'm going to say something now and you're going to know what it is. But put it this way, I absolutely adore robots, right? I'm a fan of loads of movies with robots in them, right? And yeah, I'm pretty peed off now that not only is my favourite character dead, but I'm not going to see like tons of robots now like I was before. So I'm really peed off at that because I love films with robots in them. Yeah. So as you can see, I'm quite sad. And I thought, well, that's not a very nice birthday present, is it? Killing off my favourite character. You know what I mean? I thought, that's not very good at all. It really, really isn't. I want to show you something. Look at this. This is damn cute. It's an Iron Man alarm clock. I've got all, I'm getting upset now. I've got all 3 of the Iron Man films. I'm not happy. Not happy at all. I can only hope that, like Superman, they brought the Superman back from the dead. I can only hope they bring my character back from the dead in the future. That's all I can hope. Because I'm getting upset now. So yeah, it's a rubbish film. If your character dies, if your character comes back to life or still alive, It's an absolutely wonderful film, and you'll love it so much. So yeah, look, I'm crying now over a character. I know it's just a character, but still, when you follow the character's journey, you know, and you're an emotional person, you follow the character's journey for months, years of your life, and you've kind of been on an internal journey yourself in life, and you know, you've gone through a lot in your life, and that character's kind of come with you, just like my writing, right? So I write, yeah, and some of my books, when I've been writing them, I've been writing them, and they've been helping me in my journey of life, right? And when I watch superhero movies, I feel empowered usually. Like, I've got superpowers, yeah? And especially when your favourite character's kicking some butt, right? You feel like you're superpower and you're super strong, and it's really, you know, like, empowering. But obviously this isn't how this film is. It's just like, thanks. The strength of my favourite character has now had it zapped out of them, and it's horrible. Really horrible, because they're dead. So I'm not very happy about it. Yeah, so go and watch it, because it's good to have a conclusion. If you watch Infinity War, it's nice to, like, conclude it, isn't it? But to be honest, I'd rather leave it at Infinity War, because my character's still alive at that, and just forget the end game. I won't be buying the end game. I won't be getting that, because, you know, it's too upsetting. I mean, part of me would like the fact it's the last bits of that character, but then that's the reason I don't want it. I'd rather remember them who they are. I'm not saying it'll never happen that the end game won't come into my hands, someone might buy it for me, but at the end of the day, I'd rather remember them alive. I don't know how they can kill it off, because I want to watch those more movies with them in it. But yes, I'm getting emotional over a character now, people, over a character. But I think if you're a writer as well, which I am, and you get really passionate and into a character, and they've kind of lived your life with you over several years, I do think that it's quite an emotional thing. Because you're like, you know, your life is like, you know, intertwined with the characters, isn't it? Over the years when they've helped you through dark times or difficult times. Because I watch this person, I've got 3 of their movies, and I watch their movies a lot. And now it's like they're dead. They're absolutely dead. So I think when you get emotionally upset over a character, like a main character you've known a lot throughout your life, it's kind of like for all the last years of your life, it's kind of like you've got emotion of the way they make you feel in your everyday real life, you know, which is usually empowered. And, you know, I often say that you know, sometimes I need to recharge like Iron Man. I need to plug myself in and boost myself back up, and then get energized again in life and be my happy, bubbly, hyper self like I usually am. And obviously it's a bit hard to say that anymore. So yeah, anyway, go and watch the movie, because I think it's good to have a conclusion in your life. If you hate what I'm talking about because you know what character I'm talking about that dies now, then you know, if you don't want to watch it because it's going to be too upsetting for you, then yeah, but just be ready with the tissues. I was really good actually through the film until they went blank, even though I was really upset, because I couldn't believe, I thought they've got to bring that person back. Like, I thought they were going to do it in the last bit, but they didn't. And then the credits went up, and then, you know, the lights went on and the film had ended. And then it's like, no, the character's still dead. It's disgusting. I hope to God they bring that character back one day from the dead. But I don't think it's likely with the storyline they had. Anyway, so yeah, my verdict is give it a watch, because I think it's good to have a conclusion. But be prepared that your favourite character might be dead, and that, you know, 2 of the main characters from the first Infinity War film that survived now die in the second movie. I think that's horrendous. But yeah, and you know, some of it is a bit predictable as well, some of it's a bit slow. I don't think it's the best movie they've ever made in terms of action, because I think the fight scene is really good, awesome, but I think that there's not enough action in the beginning parts, if I'm honest, to keep your attention drawn in and on, you know, on your guard, and really be boom, 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 boom like usual. But they kind of had to do the backstory of how the characters are feeling, so you can see that they're disintegrating in their life and world currently because the past is holding them back. But you know, it is a very interesting storyline that, you know, should we go back in the past and try and change the past? You know, should we just accept things as they are now and move on with our life, or should we go back to try and save things in the past if you think it's worth saving? I think that's a huge moral dilemma. And I think the film portrays that, yes, it's worth it in some instances, but no, it's not worth it in others, because although you might get some of your life back that you once had, the life you currently have could disintegrate before your eyes, and the life you have now might be better for some of you than your past, and going back in your past will just make things worse again. Whereas for others, going back in their past to happier times would have been good for them. But, you know, it's all about, there is this, you know, there's this deeper storyline going on about, you know, should you go back to past? Should you want to bring people back that have gone before? Should you just move on with your life, move forward with it, and do new things with it, and take a new direction path in your life? And I think that's a very kind of philosophical, deep and meaningful thing to think about, really, if I'm honest. And I think that's interesting to contemplate, you know, because I think everything happens for a reason, good or bad, you know. Obviously, they've killed my main character off now, so I guess everything happens for a reason, doesn't it? So yeah, I feel a bit numb, a bit hollow with my character dead now. A bit horrible, it is. But hey, you know, you got to move on, I guess. Like, that was a part of the film, but that was kind of the parallel with the film. You know, it's like, do you move on with your life because you are this way in, you know, like you're 5 years on in your life now? Do you move on, or do you go back to past? You know, usually I never go back to my past. I try and move on with it. And if they'd all moved on, my character would still be living and not dead. Like my favourite character. But as it was, they're dead, you know? But I do think it's really interesting to think about time travel. And I do think it's interesting to, you know, look at this type of thing more in depth. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this film review. It has been a sad film review. I'm not going to lie to you. There is spoilers in here, as you know. I will put in the description there's spoilers just in case people are playing it back. If you like this video at all, you can give it a thumbs up if you think the review was good, even though, you know, that it was upsetting. If you think, you know, that you learned something about the film, if you think that at least you understand more what happens now in the new film, you're glad that I gave you a warning about it. And if you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great subscribe button down below. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and share it with anyone who may benefit. Until next time, Rachel, Craigie and each other, and I will see you on the next video or live stream. Take care. Bye. Bye.